there are three things that successful retirement plans have in common. And being the nerds that we are, one way we like to think about it is in the form of an equation, but it's not a boring equation, I promise, because if you can do this, if you can solve it correctly, it might give you a higher chance of that successful and secure retirement that you may be looking for. So I want to share that equation with you, and in hopes that it'll give you a different way to think about your own retirement plan. And if you can set it up correctly, it'll help mitigate some of the risks that we talk about on this channel, like the sequence of returns risk or inflation or market risk or even healthcare cost risk. And the reason why we think about it in the form of an equation is because each part of the equation impacts the other. And let me show you what I mean here. This is the successful and secure retirement, and we have IP times IV over TP. We want to reduce the denominator as much as we can and increase the numerator, and I'll get into this. And E squared here is really one of the most valuable parts of this equation because it really has the greatest weight and impacts everything else if it's done correctly or if it's done incorrectly. And let me share an example with you. I know a business owner, and he was a successful business owner. He had a great business, and he was retiring, and he had his retirement plan set, and he had a high likelihood of achieving his goals according to him. And he knew investing. He was really a second level thinker when it comes to investing. And it was March 2020, and that fear and worry influenced him one day, really just one day and one decision. He ended up really setting himself back and kind of ruining the current plan as it was. And he probably got set back about 5 to 7 years with as he was looking at his plan. So it lowered the chances of success to have that successful retirement. And here's the thing. That feeling that he had, it's going to happen to you one day. I'm going to guess it's just a normal human emotion that happens when things can be scary. And we know that there's a lot of things out there. And as you know, that emotion feeling, it starts to get stronger the older you get or the closer you get to that retirement date. Specifically, that feeling around preservation and security gets stronger as you get closer to retirement, because really there's times no longer on your side. You can't really wait out the future corrections like you did 10 years ago. Then it causes people, from what we've seen, to make more emotional decisions over smart financial decisions. So if we can't get this emotional part correct, it starts to really, if we mess this up, the rest really gets thrown out the window. So in order to get to the most important goals that you have set for yourself in retirement, we need to implement these three things correctly. So I'll just go over what they are right now. You've heard them before. This is the income plan. This is the withdrawal strategy. This is the investment plan, making sure we're set up correctly. And then this is the tax plan. The tax plan is on the bottom because really we don't want to pay any more tax than we need to. Paying taxes is fine, but if we can reduce this over your lifetime, that will look a little bit better on the other side of the equation. And then the investment plan and income plan, we'd hope to increase these and really just have a sustainable and smart plan. These two things are working together. And again, the reason why it's an equation is if you make a decision here, it impacts the other two most likely. And here's what I mean. There's a thing called tax location, and it's what type of investments you own in what type of accounts. You know, there's a few different types of accounts treated tax-wise. You've got taxable, you've got pre-tax monies like IRAs and 401ks, and then you've got the post-tax or Roth monies. So if you own the taxable or maybe tax inefficient funds in the taxable account, that would impact the tax plan. And another example is back in March of 2020, if they didn't have the right income plan, and they were taking monthly withdrawals from their accounts, they may have been forced to sell lower than what they'd hope. I mean, there was a point where some of the investments were down 30% or so. So in order to keep the income plan running, it really has to work together with that tax plan. And these two are very closely related. But there are some things when it comes to the investment plan, maybe some things you're currently not doing in your financial life, where we can increase the alpha and hopefully the return of the portfolio and potentially decrease the amount of tax you pay when you're thinking about tax efficiency. So this is just one fun or different way to think about it. And maybe it's not fun. Maybe I am just a nerd who's trying to think of things in a different way to help communicate it to you. But the point is, if we can pave the way ahead of time with some proactive planning, you'll have a much better retirement and you won't get caught off guard by the unexpected. If you could think about these different areas of your plan and have really plan A, which is a good scenario, and even plan for plan B or worst case scenarios. it never hurts to do that sort of thing. And again, I don't want to be promoting fear or anything, but good case, bad case scenarios, it wouldn't hurt. So hopefully that gave you a couple thoughts here, and that it was helpful for you. If these sorts of retirement plan videos are helpful, then consider subscribing so that I see you in the next video, and then have a great rest of your day. Take care.